Mic check. 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2, 4. Seems a bit loud. Let me. You know what? It's up for relatively good reason. My bad. So, hey, but it's up because it's tied to our interviewer mic volume, or our interviewee, I should say, on in a bit. Welcome, one and all, to the Dungeon Alchemist Mapmaking Show. I hope you. I'm very quiet. Mic lately. That's been doing this thing where it turns itself down automatically. Is that better? Is that better? Is that mic better? Okay, sorry about that. I'm sure when you can hear me, everything is better. Regardless. Right? I got that radio voice and that radio face. Hope you're all doing well. Let's go over our itinerary, shall we? So, for today's Dungeon Alchemist Mapmaking Show, in our news segment, we've got a couple items to cover. Whales. I'm going to not explain that further. And then heavy machinery. Expanded. By the way, welcome back, one and all. We've got DM Crusader, Tropism, KO'd, Morgana Grey, Sack, Atlam, Lilandra, and I'm sure more hanging out, lurking. There. KO'd, you're silly. How was everyone's week, by the way? Hey, Mandu, how you doing? Immediately following our news segment, we've got our interview, our user segment with Fantasy Grounds CM Belle Muerta. I learned how to pronounce her name correctly today. It's not Bella, which my Italian heritage has a hard time not seeing something spelled like that pronounced Bella. So I've been mispronouncing it this whole time. My bad. My bad. Very funny. She corrected me on that, and I feel so awful. But now, hopefully, I'll be better going forward. After that, we'll have our Dungeon Alchemist related Q&A. So during the interview, we have questions related to Fantasy Grounds, their community, getting to know Belle as a person and a community manager, that kind of stuff. Immediately following that is Dungeon Alchemist Q&A. So if you have support related inquiries, questions about our development, questions about how to do something specific in a map, or problems with exports, whatever, save it for the Q&A segment, please, which is usually about an hour after we go live. So about 1 p.m. Pacific. Let's see here. After that, we have a map showcase, which I have a few maps I pre-picked, which I have one up right now. I found a couple maps on the workshop that I found very impressive. I'd love to share them with the community. Afterwards, we will discuss multi-level at length, how it's done, how to use it to your benefit in your building, etc. If we have time, of course. Hey, Dag, glad you're here. Oh, I'm sorry there's a rat problem at your daughter's place. I'm assuming you're helping her out. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive into our news segment, shall we? Oh, my camera's up here. Let me pull it down temporarily. Actually, you know what? I'll leave it here. I'll leave it here. Hey, Jim, how are you? What's new with you? I love how you sent me that message with no context earlier. Like, I get the gist of it, but I would love a little bit of context in the future. Let me see here. I've got some teasers for y'all. Wrong window. I thought I had it pulled up, but I did not. Okay. Would you like to see heavy machinery or whales first? Oh, man. Honestly, yeah, rats can get bad. Usually you got to like smoke them out or something, right? And then you also got to smoke to figure out where they're coming in because they could come in from so many different places. Looks like machinery, oh, Dag voted twice. So whales is 2, machinery is 2. We need a tiebreaker. One more person needs to say, don't vote twice. Hey, whales it is, Sack. Thank you for being the tiebreaker. Whale, whale, whale. We'll show them both, so it doesn't really matter, but... I believe this won't necessarily be in the future update, like Fun with Objects. I believe it'll be in High Seas. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing? I'm glad the feed's coming through on Facebook today. Hopefully you can hear me all right, and there's not too much of a delay. I don't know if this will be finalized in the update, and I might even get in trouble for showing you this, but this is likely going to be part of the High Seas update, which is next year. Oh, dang. Is there any insurance coverage in play there, or is it like all a cost they're fronting? Because that can get really expensive. Here, let me move my face so I'm not covering up about 80% of the, well, about a third of the whale here. Gotcha. So it's probably been, you know, put off for a while, but at least they're taking care of it and they're making good. That's good to hear, Dag. By the way, for those wondering, we're multi-streaming on like 5, 6 different platforms. We're live on Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Steam. So 5 platforms. So if you hear me talking to somebody and you don't see them chatting in your chat feed, that's why. Don't care how Morgana wants it now. Did you end up getting a copy of Dungeon Alchemist then, Morgana? I thought you were sitting on the fence last we spoke. Here's some heavy machinery, token for scale. Some of this you may have seen, some of it you may not have seen. So you got like a crusher, a rock crusher. Here it's like a press of some sort, right? Here we have like an accordion, you know, type situation for like bellows, which could be used, you know, to heat up, you know, a furnace or to push, you know, pressure through like a pipe system. Of course, you got the tumbler there, and then the hammer forge there. Yeah, they're really cool. These will most definitely be in Fun with Objects Part 2. Yeah, feel free to reach out to me. Nice, Anani. I'm glad you can hear me. All right, everyone. Let's move on to our interview segment because I know that they are waiting patiently. I know you're interested in seeing those teasers and upcoming stuff, but we've got a guest patiently waiting. So, Belle Muerta is the community manager. So, essentially, my role here in Dungeon Alchemist, but with Fantasy Grounds, which some of you may be familiar with, and some of you, for those that aren't, Fantasy Grounds is a virtual tabletop software. Similar to like Roll20 or Foundry, if you're familiar with those, above VTT, etc. They are essentially the VTT. I feel like they've been around longer than anybody on the market when it comes to virtual tabletop software. Zach, we'll likely be doing the giveaway after the interview, between the interview and the Q&A segment, okay? Sorry, I forgot to mention that. We're going to be doing a giveaway for a Hendrycke plush today. Stand by, let me grab it. A counterpart to this, a twin, if you will. So we'll be giving away one of these bad boys later in the stream. This is a plushie of our beloved mascot, Hendrycke the Imp. Okay, back to the interview. Hendrycke, take a back seat for a moment. We will show him off later today. If you're interested in that, make sure you hit that follow button and stay tuned for later in the stream when we do the giveaway. Okay? Definitely don't want to miss out. So, back to Belle. She has been a community manager as long as I've been aware of Fantasy Grounds, which has been a long time. We'll probably learn some more about that in a bit. She's also, been involved in TTRPG gaming for quite a while as well. Hoping to learn more about that. Maybe her hobbies and interests. I would like to get to know her as a person, but also learn more about Fantasy Grounds. So I hope you guys are excited and have some questions ready. I see that some people asked some questions in our Discord. Hold on one moment. So we've got a whole list of questions here. Fantastic. And for those that have questions for Bella after we bring her on, make sure you preface your question in chat with the word question. That way I know our mod and myself know to add it to the list, and then we will ask them in the order they were received. Okay? Stand by here. I'm going to unmute her and bring her on to the feed. I got to fix my camera because I moved it. Stand by. Damn, fam. Let me overlap those bad boys. And then we will make sure she is no longer muted. Okay. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me, Belle?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Can you hear her? Let me mute the music because that makes it also easier to hear. Okay, say one more time.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
We both sound excellent. Well, that's great. Hopefully I look as excellent as I sound. Belle, I'm so excited to have you on. Thank you for being here today. Very much appreciate you setting aside some time in your busy schedule to hang out with us in the Dungeon Alchemist map making show. Oh, sorry. 1 second. I dropped my lens cap here. I first off, just again, thank you, and I just want to introduce you. It's Belle Muerta, or Muerte, I guess, depending on the pronunciation, right? Which would you prefer there?
It's Muerte.
Muerte.
Belle Muerte.
Okay. So, I've been pronouncing your name wrong this whole time as Bella, which is very Italian of me, which we discussed earlier. That's my heritage. On my mom's side, my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, all very Italian. So anyway, I apologize for that. But going forward, I might still mispronounce it here and there out of habit, but we will try and fix that. That said, we've got some questions coming in from the community, and I just want to start a few, softball questions to get it rolling here. first and foremost, how long have you been acting in a community manager role? Is Fantasy Grounds your first, community manager role, or have you done it in other companies before? I would love to hear about it.
With a streaming group prior, but with Fantasy Grounds, this June will be 5 years.
Wow, that's impressive. So cool.
And
So
in case people don't know, Belle Muerte is my online gamer tag name. My name is Paulette Anderson. So if you're actually in the Fantasy Grounds Discord, you'll see Paulette.
So yeah,
Instead
now
of
you
Belle.
know. Now you know. And honestly, contrary to that, like I actually just go by my online name for my community manager thing because yeah. Anyway, I at the time I started, I was streaming and just kind of wanted to keep it all the same. So that's funny. Some people do that, and I've noticed some people transition from gaming or streaming or community or content creation into it. I gotta ask, what got you into? You said you were with a streaming group before. What got you into the community management role as a whole? Like, what got you interested in it or transitioned you into that space?
I was streaming with David Middleton, who was at the time the streaming specialist for Fantasy Grounds in his private stream. And I had taken over his social media, and then it transitioned to his whole gaming group, social media for them. And when it ended, it just happened that Fantasy Grounds was hiring for a community manager, so I immediately applied. I think I was the first application they actually got. So that's how I ended up in this actually education wise, I was a social worker in child abuse prevention. And if you're speaking, Mac, I'm not hearing you.
What? I realized my tap mute, I must have bumped it and accidentally muted my mic. I'm so sorry. So we've got people coming in. We've got Sausage Map said hello. Looks like Swedish Cook says hello. Highland Lass says good evening. So we've got some people coming in, some questions coming in. That being said, you've been with Fantasy Grounds for 5 years. I'm sure you've done, various community initiatives, giveaways, things like that over the years. Do you have any upcoming community events, community initiatives, anything going on in the Fantasy Grounds community that you want to take a moment to soapbox and share with us?
Third Saturday of the month, we have the Fantasy Grounds Game Day. We're always looking for new game masters to run games. It's here for people to try out both Fantasy Grounds or try out new rule sets because we'll have different ones for you to try. I actually play in some of them, so that way I get a chance to try out the different sets. I think the last one I tried was Shadow Dark.
Wow. Shadow Dark. Sorry, I thought you said Shadow Run for some reason, but Shadow Dark, I'm not familiar with that. What is that?
It's like D&D and deadlier.
Gotcha. Okay. So, are you currently involved in any active games?
Oh, I am. I stream on Mondays with the Mother Cluckers. So every other Monday, we either are gaming or we're making the maps. Which
I've lurked a
Dungeon
couple of those
Alchemist.
streams. I've lurked a couple of those streams. I happened to notice the DA stuff and saw you guys also posting on social media. So I appreciate you using Dungeon Alchemist in your streams and for your campaign. Really excited to see how that progresses.
Oh, we're loving it. It's a lot of fun. And then on Tuesdays, every other Tuesday, I stream with GM Greg. We do a Traveler game.
Traveler
Now,
fun.
I have other games I play, but they're not streamed.
currently the only game I'm in, it's private. We don't stream it, but that GM streams every other game they run, and they run like 7 games a week. And so we're like the only game they don't stream. I don't know.
Oh,
I maybe eventually want to stream it, but I like a private game for some reason. I guess I'm not a freak in those games. I just like it's me and my family and my friends vibing out. I don't really like always being online, I guess. But no, that's cool though. Traveler, is that a sci-fi system, or am I cool?
space, you know.
Space.
As a matter of fact, right now we're trying to acquire a new ship.
Oh, cool. So you have a ship, but you're trying to get a better ship?
Oh, we have 2 ships,
Oh
but
my
we
goodness,
want
you're going for
more.
Armada.
Exactly. That's how
Got
you
it.
make your money.
That's very cool. Okay, so I've got questions pouring in from our community. I think we've
Okay.
covered a few basic ones. I hope you're ready for all these. This
I'm
first
ready.
one is from Loki on Discord. Um, this is an interesting question. What makes Fantasy Grounds a good fit for Dungeon Alchemist?
With Dungeon Alchemist, you get these stunning maps, and with Fantasy Grounds, you get the wonderful tools to run the game. So, perfect.
Win right there. I like that
Yeah.
answer. To be honest with you, I've done some testing with Fantasy Grounds thanks to you giving me a key some time ago. I'm glad that we networked, a few years back. It was great to link up with you when I did, and I was able to learn a lot from you. Anytime I have a question, usually you can help me or you point me in the right direction. But I've done some testing, and Dungeon Alchemist and Fantasy Grounds works very seamlessly together. It doesn't take a whole lot to get a scene set up and get a map and all the lines of sight and lighting and all that stuff working. I honestly was very impressed when Fantasy Grounds added animated maps, because I thought that would never happen. Like, I kind of was under the impression that that was just not going to ever happen with Fantasy Grounds. I feel like maybe community pressure kind of guided that a little bit. But that said, I'm very happy that there's such a good meld between our two products. Kind of adding to that question, and that we have such an active amount of community members from Fantasy Grounds. Like Atlam, our moderator in chat, is a big Fantasy Grounds fan, from my understanding, and I know we have quite a few others who use it quite religiously. So, and it's been around for a long time, if I understand correctly.
20
Um,
years. It was the first.
20 years, you're saying?
Yeah, over.
Oh my gosh, like half my life. So it's been around a while. And that shows, I mean, serious commitment, but also longevity. And I think the fact that you guys have licensed content like attributes to that heavily, being part of the success, because it's one of the only ones out there for the longest time that you could get licensed, D&D content and others all simultaneously. Because don't you guys have Pathfinder and a few other things?
Had a few different rule sets: Pathfinder, Starfinder, Call of Cthulhu. I mean, the list goes on.
That's impressive, honestly. And
Traveler, of course, I play in that one.
so I think, the longevity of the product probably helps attribute to this, to the great success with licensing with all these different companies over time as well. But Fantasy Grounds is obviously adaptable, but long term. So I mean, it has some areas where it may feel a little bit older, but I think that gives it more of an established base, and it's some things in it are less, I don't know, flashy, but I like that. I like that it's more of a solid app than, there's aspects of it that need to be
Constantly.
heavily modified. Say what?
Things are constantly being updated, so there's always changes.
Oh, for sure. I wasn't saying that it wasn't,
Yeah.
and I apologize if that was the impression there. Atlam, our moderator and fan of Fantasy Grounds, as I mentioned, asks, how did the decision to make FGU free come about? Is there anything you can share on that?
I don't know because I don't handle those decisions.
No worries. I was just wondering if maybe it was, if maybe they related it to you, or any information when you started sharing it on the community level might have been transmitted to you. So, but I'm assuming, just from my perspective, outside perspective, fly on the wall, has no idea at all. But I'd imagine, as many other tools come out that are free and are competitors, it may have driven that aspect from that level of decision. I That's just the outside looking in.
I
But
think it was just it's a great way of letting new people in, into the community.
I mean, if
We
the
want to make it available to everyone.
exactly, if the ceiling, is free, it's available to everyone that can run it on their computer, essentially. So, which is great, in a worldwide market, especially in some areas where, a tool like FGU at one point might have cost someone's entire rent to use. Tabletop gaming should be available to anyone, for a reasonable price at least. But offering a free entry window is phenomenal. I'm glad you guys opted to do that.
SRDs available that, so they can come in and completely play for
Yeah,
free.
exactly. There are quite a few game systems out there that they give you entry level stuff for free. Let's see here. Next question is from Anani on Twitch. How did you get to know the DA community, and how do you experience them, since you already have experience with your own community? That's a good question.
Remember how we found each other on here?
I
It's been
honestly, a
so
few
long
years
ago.
ago, I remember, if that's okay, I
Okay.
can take over for a moment. So I was interested in the virtual tabletops that we were compatible with and other ones on the market. And I started reaching out to individual communities. And I think that's kind of how we first started talking. And then you kind of drummed into our streams here and there. And then I got invited onto one of your community streams, which they no longer offer the Friday streams, but as a guest. But, essentially we've stayed in contact since we networked way back when, just trying to understand, your community, how our products work together, and maybe opening a line of communication. So like, hey, if there's developments on our end or your end, we can work together on them. And I think that's worked great, because you've apprised me to new, community developments, to like the store, thing you guys developed, and, changes to aspects of the program and stuff like that. You let me know when you guys went free, other things like that too. So it's been nice to have that networking opportunity with virtual tabletops. I've tried to do that with Foundry and haven't really had much luck. So, like, yourself, I have a communication line with Owlbear, Above VTT, a couple others. It's really nice to have that line of communication between CMs at least.
And it's nice to have there used to be a group that was all CMs in the gaming community, and that made it nice to be able to work with everybody else and get to know and let everybody spotlight each other.
Oh, for sure. And honestly, it's like, that's the reason I enjoy having you on today. Like, I mean, it's not just about Dungeon Alchemist all the time on this stream. Like, we often talk about other things, but this is a great example, Fantasy Grounds. And obviously they're synergistic here, but I really do like to learn about your community and your product, and what we can during these streams. Next question here is, actually, continuing on to that, I'll let you answer some. What's your experience so far with the Dungeon Alchemist community? And let me add to that, what's your thoughts of us as a whole?
Well, when we were first talking, we were fortunate enough to do where we could switch licenses. So when you all got Fantasy Grounds, we got Dungeon Alchemist. And of course, I immediately got in there and started playing with it. Now, I don't GM, so I don't have a need to make maps for myself. But showing my friend, who is the GM for the Mother Cluckers Loam, me showing her that is how she ended up getting Dungeon Alchemist, because I was like, yeah, this is a really cool little program. You should check it out. And then boom, we have it. Now we make a stream out of it. So that's brought me into playing with it and having fun, and I know, in case anybody wants to know what I want more for Dungeon Alchemist, chickens, more chickens. We need them for the Mother Cluckers.
More, more pens, more hutches, chicken hutches, more chicken stuff, more nests, more eggs, more chicken models, animated, non-animated. So to extend to that, there is a question from our mod. What is the lore behind the Mother Cluckers? Which is your group, your play group, right? That streams. Explain to us the Mother Cluckers, your elevator pitch for them and the lore behind them.
Going back to David Middleton, he wanted to run an all-female game. And I said, okay, well, how many women do you want? So he told me. He said, I'd like to run 4. And I said, do you want me to play in it? He's like, of course. I said, okay, let me see what I can do. And within a couple hours, I had 3 other women that I personally know committed to it. And that became the Damsels of Death and Destruction. And we've gone on to play with other GMs. And then Loam, one of the damsels, stepped up and she decided to run a game, and that's where the Mother Cluckers came. And we became the Mother Cluckers because Demdra, one of the other ladies in the group, was playing a very interesting character. And it's like, oh, yeah, I need to come up with a backstory. So, well, give me an idea of your backstory. And then I ran it through a program and we came up with a really interesting backstory, including, since she's an artificer, she has a mechanical chicken and its name is Cluckers. So we became the mothers of Cluckers, Mother Cluckers.
Oh, funny. I was going to ask you artificer or artificer, but you answered it already. So now we know. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, is it GIF or GIF for you?
Oh my God. No, that's one of the ones I'll get into an hour-long discussion. Yeah.
I use them interchangeably just to drive people crazy in the same conversation, even.
Yes.
That's my contribution to that, because I just don't care. Okay, fine. We'll move on before we trigger anyone. Low-Key in Discord asks, Fantasy Grounds has a large collection of licensed content. Which genres tend to be the most popular? Classic fantasy, urban fantasy, Lovecraftian horror, cyberpunk or sci-fi, post-apocalyptic, cozy. From your experience, your community, outreach and insight, what do you think is the most popular? And then what's the runner-up?
Fantasy is going to be the largest one. And then Call of Cthulhu.
Call of Cthulhu, interesting.
Yeah. Personally, I play fantasy. I prefer post-apocalyptic.
So that's your personal preference as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so got you on the tail end there. So your communities is fantasy followed by Call of Cthulhu are the most popular. And then your personal is fantasy followed by post-apocalyptic. Which post-apocalyptic setting or system do you use?
One of my private games. And
sorry, you said something that cut off in the beginning. What was it?
That one is one of my private games I play, and it's not on Fantasy Grounds.
Got you. Which system is it? Do you mind sharing?
Gamma World.
Gamma World.
I would love for it to come to Fantasy Grounds.
Interesting. I don't think I've heard of that one.
It's one of the old TSR products.
Interesting. Cool. How long have you been playing that game?
Oh, Lord. I think 6 or 7 years. I don't know.
Gamma World. I feel like it just sounds like it would be a run of Hulk comics. You know what I mean? But that sounds like such a cool name. I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely, 1980s. Yeah, it was the first of its kind.
Everyone here. I played Gamma World a few years ago. DM Crusader played. That's an oldie. Moose. I played it. It was from the late 70s, as I recall. DM Crusader played that back in the 80s. So, unfortunately, I guess that's before my time. That said, I should probably check it out. I was just a youngling in the
I will
80s.
say you were probably not even born when I started playing, so I've been
I
playing since 1981.
Yeah, I was not born yet. I was not even a thought yet at that time. So, but yeah, I honestly like it's so crazy to see how rich culture and like old tabletop gaming was. Like it's exciting to me to learn about like the older games and how long people have been playing and what systems they used to play. Um, I grew up in like a very like religious community, and tabletop gaming was kind of taboo. Like Satanic Panic was up to 11 in that neighbor in my family and like community. So like I really wasn't allowed to play games like that, and I played D&D in secret at a friend's house. So like I wouldn't talk about it to my mom. It was like Fight Club. You don't talk about D&D club. That's the first rule. So honestly, like I love hearing about people that got to play tabletop gaming and enjoy it. You like with so anyway, I love it. So Gamma World is a post-apocalyptic, is it kind of a sci-fi setting, or is it I'm assuming there was a nuclear fallout Gamma World. Sorry, what was that you cut out?
Multiple, multiple. So think of uh, U.S. and multiple times that the world has gone to hell in a handbasket.
Cool. Sounds like a fun setting. I mean,
It
awful,
is.
but terrifying, but also cool to play in.
Well, and my character came from, okay, most of the characters in my group came from the first time people were frozen and then brought back into the future to try to rebuild. Mine character was actually from the second time they froze people. So the people I run with, their characters are 200 years older than my character.
So there's cryogenics in this
Yeah,
in this setting. Oh, cool.
yeah,
And is there
yeah. It's
magic as well? Is it mostly sci-fi-ish?
sci-fi,
Cool,
no magic.
cool, cool. Okay, next question here from Atlam on Twitch asks: on one hand, there are economic and technological constraints in implementing good 3D in an efficient, accessible, and economic way. I feel like this might be a development question. If it gets a little in that way, let me know. But let us know what you can say on this and how you can answer what you can answer. On the other, even though users are very vocal about their desire for 3D VTTs, projects like Sigil got scrapped. A very small number of existing 3D applications aren't doing as well as one would expect. Then there's the external question: are TTRPGs meant to be played like video games? So my question is, I guess it is a more personal, philosophical question. Do you believe 3D and VTTs is the future?
Would love to see it. I like the fact, even for us on Fantasy Grounds, you can play it however you want. If you want it to be more, more of a simplistic game, or if you want it, in our case, it's a 2.5D. There's a little toggle that you can turn the switch so it's on or off.
So it
It
takes
doesn't
your
have
image
to
and
be.
puts it up into like a fanned out image, correct? Is that
Yeah.
how it is?
Right.
That's very cool. I'm glad you guys did that.
And I would love to eventually see, the full three, like what you all have. Oh my God, I would love to see that.
You know,
Now, is it being worked on? I don't know. I'm not in that area of the company, and we're a very small company, so there's only five people in the dev team. So it's not as fast as maybe some companies that have larger teams.
do you think, personally though, from a personal standpoint, that 3D VTTs are like the future?
I think they are, yes.
Interesting.
And I like the fact, like I said, there should always be the opportunity to people playing it how they want, whether they want that full, you know, experience of being in a game, or they want the old pen and paper or
So
pencil and paper, I guess.
and to add to this, I do think 3D VTTs will eventually take hold and be uh, more widely used, widely adopted. But it will take time, and several things need to come into play first. Just like VR has been pushed and pushed and pushed time and time again since like the 80s, it technology has to catch up in order for these implementations to be widely adopted and used. Things need to be upgraded, things need to be micronized. But what I'm getting at is computer technology that can handle 3D VTTs well isn't widely available to everyone in the cost it is right now. Internet that can handle 3D games also. So either you take a graphical cut if you want internet to handle 3D games, or, and it's that triangle of what, you get good, fast, or cheap. And you can't get all three with 3D VTTs quite yet, I feel like. I do love where it's going. Tailspire has made some great stuff. There's these other companies out there that are doing good things. I think VR, 3D, augmented reality, top-down gaming, there's a bunch of stuff adapting, and honestly, I think the pandemic was a blessing in disguise for tabletop gaming because it fueled this like arms race of all these new VTTs and tools and apps and map makers and Sirenscape and like all these different world tools. And I mean, it's amazing all these things that have come out in the last 5-10 years because of a enriched demand, right? Or necessity is the mother of all invention, I guess. But that being said, I think that as time progresses, these things will be easier to grab as internet speeds get higher and faster and better in all regions, as computer hardware, right now we're hitting a bottleneck because of AI primarily. RAM prices, GPUs, these things are skyrocketing in price. It's only going to take more time because of it. Yes, exactly. For the everyman, unless hardware comes down or, a development solution is made that can optimize 3D in an online space, I don't see it happening widely soon. And I don't mean to offend anyone by saying that. I do think it's the future, and I do think the youth in the tabletop gaming community, particularly, they have grasped virtual tabletop gaming and map-based, tabletop gaming because it's like a video game, and I think it's very relatable to them. Online gameplay is my son grabs it like this. It's very easy for him to use. I do think, if you prefer, theater of the mind or a hand-drawn map or a simple map that's printed, by all means, use the play style that works for you. I do think, though, with time, virtual tabletops and VR spaces, 3D spaces will definitely become more prevalent, but the market share right now, I'd argue it's less than 3%, if that. And that's probably being generous. And that's with, mods like, 3D Canvas for Foundry, standalone 3D VTTs that are in closed ecosystems like Tailspire, and we constantly get asked if we'll offer 3D exports at some point. The devs never even concepted it as a thought when they were designing DA, so it's not something that it's meant for. And exports would be very bare and minimal and like lack texture and just be simple shapes without any like animation or lighting, without any color, because it wasn't designed with that intention. Because at the time they started making it years ago, 3D VTTs weren't even really like a thing. Like it wasn't even an idea. Really, it was like an idea for people that was being, designed in the background. So I guess I do think with time it will become more prevalent, but yeah, I think a few things need to happen. Hardware needs to be cheaper, internet needs to be faster and more readily available in more regions. Satellite internet is making that better, but hardware prices, AI particularly, and new graphics cards coming out that are like the price of mortgage every month isn't going to help. You know what I mean? Anyway, futures yet to be determined. We'll see. But I would love for it to get a more like a grasp in the VTT market. We'll see, though. Sorry for taking 5 minutes to explain my position on that. I honestly could go on and on and on. Anyway, next from Loki and Discord. If you were running a campaign tonight, what genre and setting would you choose?
Oh, of course, I go down to the post-apocalyptic.
That's just your favorite. You feel at
maybe
home.
Cyberpunk. I'd like to try Cyberpunk next. I actually have some really cool costume pieces that I want to be able to use. So,
quick shout out to Demdra on Twitch. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated.
That's one of the mother cluckers.
Oh, one of the mother cluckers. Nice. We got Lomberlin is here as well.
Yep. That's our GM.
Nice. I've caught a couple of the streams and they've dropped in a couple of times here. Let's see here. Next question is from Anani on Twitch. What's your favorite class to play in D&D?
It's easy. And it's not just D&D. It's every character I play. I am a rogue at heart. That is my character I like to play. Because it is so opposite of my personality that's what I play. So I find a way of making every character I have a rogue.
I have to ask
you. Now, there are different flavors.
There are different flavors of rogue. And I have to ask you, are you a troublemaker rogue?
Depends on the character that I'm making. I'd say, like, in my Monday stream, I am...
Lomberwin said yes.
I'm the troublemaker and other things.
So there are murder hobo rogues. There's several. We're not going to go off their classes. We're going to go off of how they act. Murder hobo rogues. Okay. Lone wolf rogues. Troublemaker rogues. Steal everything in sight rogues. They usually fall into like 4 or 5 categories. I think there's one more. Oh, the what is it? They're the what do they call that type of player that has to be like the center of attention? Sorry, we don't have one in our group, so I don't.
Light rogue. Yeah.
But anyway, you get what I'm saying. There is so many different types of rogues, and they always make me laugh every time. But so you say you're your DM says you're a troublemaker rogue. So
I'm a troublemaker. I am more. Now for the games I'm in with her, yes. Typically, I'm probably more of a murder hobo rogue.
That's what it is, Anani. Main character syndrome or an edgy rogue.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that drives me crazy. The anime rogue is what it is. Anyway, so Morgana Grace says sister rogue. Demdra says rogue. Chaotic Goblin Girl Livy says I'm a troublemaker. So it looks like you got some friends in the audience that
my favorite rogue was based on Indiana Jones.
That sounds like a fun rogue.
It was.
So using the whip to like swing across things. No?
No, she was half elf. Okay. Mom was a waitress, a human waitress. Daddy was in the, I guess the church next door, and he was full elf. And they met, fell in love, and baby elf, half elf, and so she was going and stealing things back for the temple that he ran.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
By the way, everyone, let's hear your rogue stories, your craziest rogue stories in chat. Chaotic Goblin Girl Livy says, look, it was one time I just stabled a city and murdered a city leader. It was one time. She had to say it twice, so I'm a little concerned. Anyway, honestly,
Time that I
rogues are
murdered my.
great. Go ahead.
It was one time that I murdered my entire party.
You
It was an evil
backstabber.
campaign,
Oh,
and
fine.
nobody
Was
asked.
PvP okay in the
We
campaign?
all, yeah, we all
Okay.
met in prison, but no one ever asked my character's backstory. She had murdered her entire family because they had been abusive to her. My entire party never asked that and then started being abusive to my character. So
Oh,
she killed them.
oh
She
goodness.
poisoned.
My party all met in prison, and we've respected everyone's privacy. We all say we were all wrongfully imprisoned.
Oh
That
no,
said,
we all
I
knew
know
we
I
were.
was wrongfully imprisoned. So part of our character arc was taking out the guy who got us wrongfully imprisoned because
There
he
you
got
go.
paid for getting us thrown in jail. So I'm hoping all the people in my party were good. One dude stole the ledger with everyone, or well, took the ledger. Not he appropriated it from the prison. One of our party mates. So I don't know. Maybe he was up to no good. He was trying to hide it. No, I'm just kidding. I burnt my page in front of everyone, so I could be hiding something too. Who knows? Really, it's fun to do that kind of stuff to mess with the party. That said, that's cool that it was an evil campaign. I've honestly, if it's a PvP campaign, an evil campaign, that's totally cool. But like, oh my gosh, rogue killing the party for no reason in a campaign that you don't expect it—that would be awful. That'd be so sad. So did you just take them out super quick? Did they even stand a chance against your fury?
Dinner for everybody every night. So I slipped a note. This is actual at tabletop. Slipped a note to the DM and said, "I'm going to poison dinner." So soup's on, guys. They're all eating this. And he said, "Okay, do you all eat dinner?" Well, of course they all ate dinner, but they didn't notice she wasn't. So they all had to roll, and they all lost.
That's why
So
you need
yeah,
a.
killed them all.
Oh my gosh. What is that Perry app, the proof of against poison? You need one of those always, everyone. For the rogue in your party.
And that's when the GM said, "You all never asked her why she was in prison with you all, and you all died because you deserved it."
You know what? Now I need to ask my party mates why they were in prison. I'm curious now.
There you go.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's too funny. So we've got that's evil, love it, wow in chat. So yeah, they liked your story.
That
Lomberwin
was the one
says I
good
killed
thing.
everyone in the realm because I could not resist a shiny. Let's see here. Honestly,
Let's see. In,
lesson
in
learned.
Gamma World, I accidentally blew up an entire area of the map
Oh wow.
because she
Like a whole
did
region, like a city, or like what? How big of an area are we talking?
like a whole region.
Oh goodness.
We fortunately were gone when it happened. I thought I'd fixed it. Oops.
Was it a nuke that you tried to?
It was a nuke.
Oh no. Whoops. You Sam Cartered it. Sorry, I blew up your star. Gotta go. See you later. Your power source? Yeah. Nope, it's gone.
Yeah, we're supposed to be repairing the area and we keep nuking areas on accident.
Ah! Oops. Oh no. Okay, Atlam on Twitch. Any unannounced big changes or breakthroughs about FGU that you can share with us? Any developments with Unity that could potentially make possible to import WebM VP9 animated maps? This might be more of a development related question, but hey, if you got anything upcoming you want to share,
I don't have anything on that yet.
nothing in the pipeline that you can share or no worries. Sorry,
Like I said,
Atlam.
I honestly, because of, I don't work with the dev team and we actually have separate meetings. I don't hear about things until they're about to come out.
I'm the same. Usually,
Yeah.
A, they don't want me to like loose lip and share it, and
Yep.
B, a lot of the art and dev team meetings are A, in Europe, and B, not related to what I need to know. Like if there's anything done art wise, it gets sent to me. and then I use that. Or if there's a build that's done for me to get at, I get it. I mean, more often than not, I'm usually making stuff from the scraps I get at the end. So I'll have a meeting with the devs like once a month to discuss things and my plans for upcoming stuff, and that's about it. So I feel that. I'm on my own little island sometimes. More knowledge about chickens I always need, though I wonder if my karma will come back to get me because I killed a lot of I tried to kill a lot of chickens in Zelda back in the day. So we'll see. They might be angry about that.
Nuke was actually in a chicken factory.
What?
Yeah.
Radiated chickens?
Yeah, there was some really wild chickens in that, place. There were even invisible ones that, rock, 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 would peck at our ankles. Yeah, it was not fun.
Invisible chickens?
Yeah, and
That's
there was
something you don't hear
chickens that
about
were
every day.
highly intelligent and had laser eyes. That was not fun.
Let's see here. Okay, so hey, we are approaching about 50 minutes. We've had you on now. I've got a couple questions left that have, unless there's some other ones that are coming in through chat here momentarily. Remember, if you have a question, preface it with question, and we'll try to address it on the stream. That said, I just want to make sure we don't keep you too long. If you've got things going on today, I want you to enjoy your Saturday. So, just wanted to check and see if we're still good for a few more minutes.
Now, I did want to say on the Fantasy Grounds Discord, I actually run Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern, unless I'm, running off real quick to grab something. I'm in the room live. If you have questions or, want to chat about Fantasy Grounds.
So you are in the voice chat there or a video chat there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is it a stage that you set up, or is it just like a voice chat?
It's just a voice chat. Well, I have, up at the thing, I usually put it the FG Hangout, and myself, and then Dominic, one of the dev team, he comes in occasionally, and then Joseph, one of our people who helps with the help desk, he comes in there too. So there's, usually somebody around to, help you out in some way or another. If I can't help you, I will get you to somebody who will. It's
really cool that the team offers that. Is most of the team based in the U.S.?
Yes, we're all in the U.S.
Gotcha. I'm the only one based in the U.S. Loner.
And most of us are in Florida.
Blow right
Not on purpose.
How is the weather in Florida this time of year?
Hot and dry. I am praying for rain.
So it's not humid where you live?
It's normally, it is always humid, but we haven't had rain, and it's conditions here are really bad. We've had a lot of brush fires. Again, I as I was telling you earlier, I am in a very rural community, and most of where I live is parks and a lot of trees, and we've had some issues.
Oof. It's rough. Yeah, it's been dry all over the U.S. this year. Was not a lot of snow this last winter. And
hey, we actually got some this year. It was weird.
Like Nevada, where I live, Vegas, depends on a lot of its water from rain and snow melt, aquifers as well, but those get replenished from snow from Colorado, which they barely got enough to get their stuff this year. And there's like a water pact between like multiple states that use the rivers from the runoff from Colorado, the Colorado River. And so it's like, it's bad this year. I don't know what's going to happen because the farmers and a lot of companies get like first access. And then after that, it goes to like, civilians and like other stuff. So it's like, what? Who knows what'll happen in the next few years? The Lake Mead is like only like a few meters, like maybe 10 to 20 meters above Deadpool, where it can no longer pull water in. So It's rough. We don't have as much brush for like wildfires here, but it gets hot and dry. And last year we had like 115-degree days a couple times. It gets hot, and this year I'm preparing for even hotter. So I put a window air conditioner in my my office mounted. It's like one that mounts over the eave of the window. It's a new type that instead of being in the window frame, it like mounts over it. Really nice. Anyway, very excited to have it, but also feel bad that I have to do that. It's like awful. Anyway, let's see here. We got
Get the 110 plus 100% humidity.
Oh goodness, no.
Yeah.
That'd be awful. Where you're remote, do you have any like supplemental like options for power, like solar or a battery grid system, anything you can fall back on? No?
No.
That's a bummer.
No, and during hurricane season, it makes very interesting. So I do have a laptop, and if there's a hurricane coming, we typically evacuate.
Gotcha. So
And
you don't
go
even have
somewhere
like
where
a
there is
generator.
electricity. Yeah. I at my mother's house we have one, not
Gotcha.
at my house.
With Vegas, it's like the power is getting expensive. I have a generator for outages, but I've been considering solar and a battery system to help supplement, but man, it's expensive. Anyway,
The solar is
I mean, the panels aren't too bad. It's the batteries that are expensive. They get pretty expensive for a whole like setup. And then you got to get a permit and get it all wired into your house. It's this whole to do. But anyway, okay, next question is from Loki on Discord. Are there features you wish Dungeon Alchemist had for better integration with Fantasy Grounds or vice versa?
love if we had the, since we're both built on Unity, would love to see, have the complete 3D map. But yeah,
To be honest, man, 3D maps would be so great. I get questions about it all the time, like all the time. And mainly it falls into three categories. People want to do 3D exports for 3D VTTs, right? Which either most 3D based VTTs are like an enclosed ecosystem, like Tailspire. You make the map there, you play there. Or like they're through like a third party module, which our devs aren't really interested in developing around. And then the ones that are available, it's kind of limited in scope or like what you can do. And then Dungeon Alchemist just simply wasn't designed for it, as we discussed earlier. The devs just weren't even thinking that far ahead when they started making this. They just wanted good 3D map builder so you could get all these cool angles and get cool pictures, but mainly playing top down. So like, yeah, it's so frustrating that that's not necessarily on the menu. The other things that people want is 3D printing. They want to print the map so they can play in person with it. And then lastly is game development. A lot of game devs want to use our tool as a map maker because it's way easier to build a map in Dungeon Alchemist than it is in Unity directly. So they would love to build this and then export this into their game to use as a map, which I understand the desire. And oh my gosh, it would be cool if that was available, but I think the devs want to protect their art, their IP, and not have it used in that way. But oh man, that in the future, I do hope someone decides to do that, or maybe an update for DA after we've left early access and they have time to develop something like that. Would be interesting to see, a ground from the ground up redevelopment to support 3D in any way for any VTT. Or any use case. That being said,
Easter eggs and maps. Oh my God.
Easter eggs. Oh,
Yeah, and have it 3D where that when they open that chest of drawers, they're going to find something really weird in there.
So I played at a game at a table where the DM, if we asked, they would follow along with us in the map. While we're in top down, they would just walk around with a token. We'd be like, "Hey, can you look in the chest over there, or open the cabinet?" And they would do it. And he said anything that was in those was like things we could check out or loot. And so there was like be a document, and we'd be like, "Hey, can we ask you about the document?" And then he'd have something prepared for it. So he was like really in depth for everything because he wanted like this interactive experience, and it was pretty fun. All things considered, I'd never played D&D like that before. It was kind of like a like in old video games like Myst, where like, you know, you would like move around and interact with the environment kind of slowly, and then it would pull up stuff for you to read and observe. It was like that, but it was awesome having the altered perspective, and I could see how playing in a full 3D environment where you could kind of freely move around and interact with things would be very peak. Do you you said you don't make maps for a campaign. Do you ever make maps like cathartically, just for fun? When you're making maps, do you usually like put a story behind it and like what you're doing in each room? Like, oh, this is for this, and or do you just kind of just build it until it's done?
Let's see. If I lived in the woods, what would my cabin in the woods look like? Poof, there it is. Okay. It's more of, what do I want to play with today? What part of the world do, or what look, or do I want it to look, completely outlandishly crazy, fairy, land insanity, or if I want, yeah, I want, let's see, if there was a cabin over near the lake and then do a story around that.
You like cabins, I can tell.
I do. I like, yes, I am very happy living in the woods. I do love cities. I lived in New York City for a while. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky originally, so again, big city. But yeah,
you can tell you're from Kentucky by the way you say it.
Louisville. Oh, especially when I say Louisville.
Louisville. Yeah. Yep, that is definitely a local localized accent there and dialect. That's, oh my goodness. I have family who lives in Kentucky.
If you wanted me to for next weekend, I couldn't, because I'm sorry, I am glued to the TV the first Saturday in May every year to see the Run for the Roses. I will be watching horse racing.
Honestly, horse racing in Kentucky, that seems like just like such a canon event for living there. Like, I would imagine, like, growing up, I just assumed that was like the thing to do in Kentucky, is like go to a horse race. I honestly, like, I'm assuming that's like just because I was raised on like a whole bunch of media where there was like a ton of horse races in it. But like, honestly, like, it sounds like such a fun place. My uncle, he lives in a very remote region in Kentucky, and like has a self-sufficient home with like a big, huge, solar and like natural gas and like all this stuff. And he loves it out there. It's absolutely beautiful, the pictures and stuff. But
Louisville's a little different than farmland.
Oh, for sure. He's in a remote area.
Yeah. You have Churchill Downs for the Run for the Roses. Let me tell you, it is not cutesy and pretty all the way around. It's a city.
Okay, we've got a couple more questions here. Stand by. This one's from Anani. Not so much related to Fantasy Grounds, more of a personal question. What piece of media do you love and think will be forgotten soon, like movie, book, or something you would recommend from the past?
Papers.
Say that again. You cut out in the very beginning.
I miss newspapers.
Newspapers were great, like the tactile. They also had that smell.
And that smell, yes.
I hate the ink, though. The ink got on everything. It was like, but with silly putty. Oh, that was fun.
With the comics on Sundays, yep.
I honestly, so I used to be a paper boy. So I did like a little bit of paper delivery in my youth, and newspapers, it definitely was like a thing of the time, for sure. I feel like they're still around. Like, there's newspaper vendors at like a grocery store or something here and there, but man, I don't even think my neighborhood gets newspapers delivered. I don't think anyone gets it anymore in my neighborhood. Like, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Like, I'd like to say records, but they're making a comeback nowadays. Like, I feel like physical media is starting to make a comeback because everyone's sick of streaming. Like, and how fractured it is. It used to be like Netflix and Hulu, and you'd have everything for like $20 a month. Cover pretty much anything you'd want to watch. And now you need like 5 streaming services at like $30 a month each, and they still have ads, and you barely get all the movies and shows you want. It's frustrating. I took all my movies and ripped them and made a personal like media library so I can stream them on every device in my house. I
Don't even have a television in my house and have not for decades.
Oh man, I wish I could cut the cord in that way.
I have a computer and I have books.
I mean, I love books. I read. I have tons of books. But I also love me a good movie or a TV show, an anime. I mean, there's some good media out there in animated form. But I can agree how it can be a distraction and or problematic for some. Oh, you found a working payphone the other day, Chim? Are you sure it wasn't the doctor's? That's cool. You should have taken a picture of that. No, don't share it on the internet. The government will get rid of it. There's fear. Go ahead.
There's a old payphone booth in Florida that is actually the local police department.
Like it just calls the police department?
No, it's where the officers park their car next to the phone booth. That's the police department. You call into that phone booth.
Oh, interesting.
It's that small of a county.
I honestly don't know. I mean, there probably is payphones in Vegas still, a couple places, but I don't know of any, and I've lived here for 10 years. I don't think I've seen any. The closest thing I've seen to a payphone near Vegas is they used to have those call boxes on the side of the road between Nevada and California. Every like few miles before cell phones, they'd have them all over, where if you like broke down, you could walk up to this big yellow box on a pole, open it, and there was a hardwired phone, and it would call like highway patrol. And then they'd send someone out, a tow truck or something for you. But those are pretty much non-existent in California, except for really remote regions where cell is like bad now. So like, I haven't seen a payphone probably in 15 years. I have a friend who told me about this funny like internet theory that Matrix is the reason we don't have payphones anymore, that we're living in a simulation. Take this with a grain of salt. It's more of a funny thing to think of. But the Matrix, you could get out by getting a call from a payphone. And ever since like cell phones have become more prevalent, they couldn't get out through a cell phone. They could get calls and talk to people, but they couldn't get out. They needed a payphone, a hard line. There's far less payphones and hardwired phones than there ever were. So we're stuck in the Matrix. Anyway, that is technology is crazy how it's changed. I was just talking to my wife about this, like flashlights going the opposite direction. Flashlights have changed so much in the last 20, 30 years. And they've gotten smaller, they've gotten brighter, and they last forever because of LEDs. Like they run so much longer. I remember having a huge mag light with like 5D batteries in it as a kid. That thing would run for like 2 hours if you were lucky, with like some Duracell D batteries. And it was not that bright. And now it's like you have a little flashlight that's like this big, and it is super bright, and it'll run for weeks. Like you could leave it on, it'll run for 2 days straight. Oh, wind-up flashlights? Yes! Yes! Man, that is... what's a piece of technology that has changed so much since you were younger that it's like completely different now? Like a flashlight, that it's so updated.
Not rotary dial.
Phones.
Phones. Oh my God. I remember rotary dials. You know, I remember the first time I saw the push button phone. It's like, oh, this is so cool. I mean, and I lived in a household with a dad that had to have all new technology. I was the first person in my neighborhood to have a video game system. I had Pong. Ooh.
Oh man, the internet's changed so much too.
There wasn't internet. We didn't have internet.
Encyclopedias are technology that's just dead. The only people that have them bought them for like 10 grand, so you want to keep them. might save them and use them as kindling in the apocalypse because everything in them is outdated. I remember my mom insisting we didn't need a computer or internet when I was younger, as it was first kind of becoming more mainstream, and like you needed a computer for school, like you needed access to a word processor, they required it. And it was like, I remember she's like, here, look it up in the encyclopedia. And I was researching, and there was countries in there that didn't exist anymore, and like things that had been like technologies that had changed or lost, or like, oh, lead gasoline was talked about in there, and they're like, oh, this is great, but it's not great, like all sorts of things. Oh man, I miss arcades too. Oh, for sure.
Just in gaming, there was 20, it's been over 20 years before we had tabletops online. So we actually played at the table. I played with a paper and pencil, or,
My first game was some
yeah.
graphing paper, and my token was a
Yep.
penny. I remember this distinctly. The boss, the enemies were army men, and we were all like coins, like the players. It's changed a lot for sure. It's fun to talk about, but I also date myself that way. This is how old I am,
But you're
everyone.
not that old.
I know. I feel like I'm not that old, but
Nothing.
I am definitely hitting 40 this year. So I feel
Yeah,
like
that was
that's the turn of
40 was
getting.
a couple decades ago.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Let me feel old in my own way, okay? I'm
Yeah,
hitting.
my babies will be 30 this year.
Oh goodness. That's very cool. 40, how cute. Morgana.
Yeah.
Feeling old right in front of myself. Oh yeah, 40 is in the rear view mirror. Okay, y'all, fine. I'm a youngin compared to some of y'all, but we definitely have a community that spans all sorts of ages. We have DMs in our community
Wonderful.
as young as 5 years old using
Yep.
Dungeon Alchemist. It's crazy, nuts to me. I love
Yep.
how generational it can be too for tabletop gaming. Are
And I
any of
will.
your kids into tabletop gaming?
Oh God, yes.
Good.
Both. Matter of fact, my son still plays. My kids helped start a gaming club at their high school, and he still plays every week with his group from high school. My daughter, she plays online. She's mainly into regular video type games. And then we're hoping to get my grandson into a game soon. He's just now old enough to really start playing.
That is so awesome. I hope you can get them into it. I do feel like the kids that were raised on like tablets and video games and stuff, virtual tabletops is such a smooth transition.
Yeah.
So I think, trying there is definitely a good way to go. My kid was not interested in D&D and like with printed maps or anything until we went to virtual tabletop. And like once he played that way, it just clicked for him, and he has loved D&D ever since. He cannot get enough about it. He talks about it all the time. He's now making his own game system in his spare time that he is like developing from scratch, because he's like, I love D&D, but it has all these flaws. And I'm like, well, you've heard of Pathfinder, right? He's like, well, yes, I love Pathfinder, but it also has all these flaws. And I was like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to let you design your game system. We'll try it out when it's mostly done and have fun with it. It's honestly kind of cool. I'm really proud of him for like putting all that effort into it. Oh,
Well, and the other fun thing is, like with my grandson, he doesn't understand why. And I'm to him, I'm Lala. He doesn't understand why other Lalas don't make videos. Why aren't other Lalas making? His cousins. What is it? What is it? Why isn't your grandma making videos? Just my Lala makes videos.
I could definitely see how certain, like especially at your age, not many people use technology to that extent. I honestly, it would be hard for me to get my mother on FaceTime. So, like, I could see how some people struggle with that. Um, I have to commend you actually earlier when we connected and we're doing AV checks, it was so smooth. Usually I have to spend like 10 minutes just getting a person connected. So like yours was very quick. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So
Years of doing this. Years of doing these.
Yeah, I honestly, Zach, you quit it. Quit it. You'll always be older than me. You just have to accept it. You don't have a smartphone? Yeah, Zach is me, but he hates everything cool. Like no smartphones, no anime. Just kidding. Just joking with you, Zach. Okay, do we have any more questions? And then we'll let you go. One more here. Let's see. For people new to the hobby, this one's from Atlam. One more from Atlam. It looks like Atlam had so many questions. Big fan of Fantasy Grounds, by the way. Atlam, anytime I have a Fantasy Grounds related inquiry in our community, I usually lean on Atlam first, and then if Atlam doesn't know, then I'll reach out to you. So as you could tell, it doesn't happen very much lately. So Atlam knows a lot about it, very passionate about your product. I'm sure they've been in your streams and in your Discord a lot. That said, for people new to the hobby who want to find a group to play with, what would you recommend to them as a way of connecting with each other and to learn how to use a VTT to play online? It's a good question.
They're just coming into VTTs. They want to look at Fantasy Grounds. We have the game day the third Saturday of every month, which is great because if you go into the games that are for new people, they're going to walk you through the basic steps. Anytime, like I said, for Fantasy Grounds, on our Discord channel and on our website, we have places where people can advertise players looking for games or GMs looking for players, and that's for free or paid.
So in your Discord is a great place, you would say, to
in Discord or our website on our forums.
Cool. Oh my gosh, you guys have forums on your website? That is so cool.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy. So old school. I love it.
It's so old school.
There's like, gosh, I miss forums. I miss when there used to be a website for every interest. Now it's just Reddit is like a compiled interest website. I miss that. I don't know. The young internet was a different place. It was kind of like the Wild Wild West meets space at the same time. It was like Firefly. It it's hard to explain. Forums for the youngins out there. Just imagine like chat threads on Reddit or in any social media, but it was localized to a single website and it usually had a focus. In this case, Fantasy Grounds exclusive forums. Or if you were like, I remember going to forums for my favorite bands as a kid, or like going to forums to learn about like wilderness survival, or going to forums to learn how to play guitar tablature. There used to be a forum for everything. And the thing about it is some forums are still out there. They're just kind of harder to find because most search engines are like advertising driven and not like search driven anymore. You could search for an exact name of something and it may not come up anymore on Google. It's frustrating. That said, I definitely miss that version of the internet where it was like young, new, so many cool things to find and search and look for. Websites like Homestar Runner were like the norm, where like everything on the internet was fun and interesting and not necessarily like trying to gather your information to sell it or like trying to force you to sign in somewhere or add a credit card somewhere. Back then, no one wanted to put their credit card on the internet. The only place you would dare to put it was eBay. That was it. If there was a website trying to sell you something on the internet, they were a scam back in the day. Now everyone's like, yeah, I need to buy it there. I'll give them my Apple Pay. I'll give them my credit card, my bank number. It's crazy. The internet's so different now. I'm the kind of millennial that I'll use a computer still to make big purchases. Like younger people will do it all on their phone. They'll buy a car on their phone. I can't do that. That would stress me out. Anyway, sorry, I'm talking way too much. Okay, I
It's
think we
okay.
covered
I'm
all the
Gen X, so yes, I understand all those.
Gen X. You're just indifferent to everything.
Exactly. Yes, I drank from the water
I drink from the
hose in the
fire hose
garden.
too. That's what elder millennials still did. See, I know what it was like when you saw all the bikes in someone's yard. You're like, that's where
Yeah,
everyone's hanging out.
that was the Kool-Aid house.
There was no
Exactly.
smoke signals. It was just if you saw all the bikes in front of someone's house, everyone was inside playing a Nintendo or drinking Kool-Aid or playing some kind of game, doing something in there. You were all at that. Yeah, you would just drive around and see all the bikes in someone's yard. You knew where everyone was. Let's see here. Swedish Cook, one more questions. Where do I find rule books to run a post-apocalyptic campaign?
Uh, we have different games on Fantasy Grounds, and there are post-apocalyptic. So
Check out the Fantasy Grounds store front. There's like all sorts of post-apocalyptic systems. Can you recommend just a couple quick ones that are easily accessible in your store for them?
if my brain was working right now, I could. Hold on, I'll pull it up in front of me. Let's see if I can go straight to post-apocalyptic.
The movie Big minus Big is. There's a few movies back then that are very questionable under today's lens. They shouldn't have been
Well,
made, really.
I know there's some post-apocalyptic, yes, if I can speak English, under Savage Worlds. Oh, love Savage Worlds. Oh, exploding dice, yay. Yeah, I actually look at Savage Worlds because you're going to get every genre in one game.
Don't they have
And, it can be different.
tons of different like systems within
do.
Savage Worlds?
Yes.
I looked at their website once. It was like pages of different like systems they offer. They have
It is
Western. They
crazy.
have space. They have a post-apocalyptic. They have all sorts of stuff.
Everything.
Sci-fi Western. They have everything you can think of. It's crazy. Definitely check it out, Swedish Cook. The bike indicator. But yeah, drinking from the hose, definitely a thing of the times. Playing night games. Did you play night games? Like capture the flag, kick the can, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Chase lightning bugs.
Lightning bug. Oh, fireflies?
Fireflies, yeah.
They never lived anywhere with
See,
fireflies.
See, regional terms. Yeah.
That also, though, that I think that's more of a sign of the times thing, too, because they're far rarer now. And there's like protections in place to even capture them.
Really?
In some regions, yeah, because they're like borderline extinct.
Again, I live in the woods. So I see them.
Still occasionally take a drink from the hose. Highland Lass, of course. They hadn't evolved yet when Mac was a kid. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay, Zach, you're done. I'm gonna put you in the corner. Belle, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. It was so fun to have you on, to pick your brain, get to know you, get to know about, Fantasy Grounds a bit, understand your community a bit, learn about the Mother Cluckers. It was nice to hear all that stuff. But honestly, again, thank you so much from me and the Dungeon Alchemist community. It's always a pleasure to chat with you, but it was an absolute pleasure to have you on the stream today.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone that showed up for the interview, everyone that hung out and dropped questions, kept feeding the interview. And also, thank you to all the Fantasy Grounds people that came over today, dropped follows, hung out. Gotta say, it's so nice to have you here, and we hope to have you back in the future as an interviewee and also viewers on the stream. We love when our Fantasy Grounds community members drop by, say hello. And remember, any of our streams, Monday or Saturday, Mapmaker Monday, or the Dungeon Alchemist Mapmaking Show, y'all are welcome. I know Belle drops by sometimes, hangs out, and it vibes with us. I usually catch you lurking, but I'll shout you out with a little, "I see you there." Kind of. I can always see. I look at because my chat bot shows every name in the feed, and so I know. But Anani, don't even get me started on mosquitoes, man.
I lurk as I work. Yeah.
Lurking and working, right?
Mm-hmm.
I tweet while I work. I call that twerking. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
Anyway, and I'm never going to not call it Twitter. So
I know. Same.
that said,
Because you say, I'm going to go look at my ex. And then people are like, your
what?
ex-husband?
That sounds creepy. You're gonna go stalk your ex? What? So anyway, thank you so much for being here, Belle. I appreciate you. Unfortunately, we went a half hour over. We went long on this interview. Thank you so much for hanging out. We talked about that. I was like, well, we could probably wrap up around an hour, but we'll see. Never know, but I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for being here for the interview. Just quick reminder, we're going to be doing a giveaway right after this. So if anyone's interested in participating, stand by and make sure you're following the stream if you're not, because that is qualifier number 1. You refuse to call it Twitter. Same, Affordable Dancing Ghost. Bella, thank you again. I'm going to disconnect you here, and we'll send you on your way. You have a lovely evening, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you again. Bye.
Oh.
I'm going to disconnect the collab cam. There we go. Okay, we got the disconnect there, and then I'm going to hang up from the Discord call. See you later, Bella. Bye. Okay. Discord call disconnected. Let me get the music back on. Got to turn that down, though. Geez, Zach, you're a bully today. Honestly, it's going to be hard to keep getting guests forever, I've noticed. That said, I've got a list of people, a short list I've been putting together, people I'm going to be reaching out to. I try to plan about a month and a half in advance. Do it, Affordable Dancing Ghost. That'd be dope. Okay, so I know a lot of you are very interested in the plushie, right? You will need to be watching on the Twitch feed to participate. You'll need to be following the stream on Twitch, okay? So make sure, oops, let me fix my camera here, that you drop into our Twitch stream. We'll give you a minute or two to drop in. Well, the command isn't live yet, so that's probably a reason. Oh, set winner, Swedish cook. There is no command for that, you troll. That said, I'm going to enable the giveaway command, and to enter, first off, you must be following the stream and present in chat on Twitch. And then you need to type the word giveaway in chat. Once you type the word giveaway, you are added to a text list. Oops. So Anani was entered. Go ahead and type giveaway in chat. And you'll get a prompt from the bot letting you know you've been entered. We're going to let this run for the next 25 minutes, okay? We'll give people time to enter, okay? That'll give people time to enter from other streams to come over, set up accounts, get all set up. That'll give time for people just filing back in after the interview. And if you try to enter more than once, it won't allow you. DM Crusader, gotcha. Until then, just be jealous of how epic Hendrycke is. These are handmade. These are custom commission made by an artist, a seamstress in Belgium. She made a limited run of them. We got a bunch of, well, at least 21 of them made that I know of. The dev team all got one, and then we set aside a few for giveaways. We gave a couple to moderators in a giveaway. Anyway, very excited. It gave you confirmation for the first one, DM Crusader. You're good. No worries. By the way, there's weighted beads. There's like glass beads in his butt. That's how it like stays upright. Wim made sure to mention that to me, so I figured I'd let you know. Wim is the creator of Dungeon Alchemist, our art lead. So, yeah, he did write it in the splash screen in the DA font. It was a hidden message. And I told him that was a very questionable message to leave hidden there, because it leaves a lot more questions than answers. But you know what? It's okay. It's Wim. He's whimsical. Let's just say that. I often try to reel him back in. As the community manager, I look at things from a PR standpoint very often. And like, I also try to make sure that we're like not only PR friendly, but PC friendly, as I want our community to be like open to all, accepting of all, and like, you know, just like a non-drama community. And there's been a couple instances where there's been some things in the past. Like one time there was an asset, the way it was named and labeled in DA offended a few people that we know of. And we learned from it. And ever since then, I like make it a point to like audit all of the names of assets when they come in to see if there's anything that might be slightly offensive. It's hard though, because it's like, I only know as much as I can know myself and what offends people in my culture, not others, you know? So anyway, can we just take a moment to love this map? It's absolutely adorable. Like, I love this little slum. It's gross, but it's perfect. It's so ugly. I love it. You're not gonna get me, Anani. I have a son who is 19, so his formative years, his teens, were when that meme was like absolute prime. So you're not gonna get me with it. It's a good try though. Say it out loud, Sack. I don't know if you were part of the community back then. It happened during the Fata Morgana update. I love this layout, how the city wall is here at the exterior. Oh, you were? Cool. I wasn't sure. It's been so long. Known you years now. Yeah, so this map is one portion of a city. There's multiple maps on the workshop by this same creator. So they have Magnificent City. This is the east side, and it's the slums, so poor. So that's how they denoted it, so it's easy to tell. But if you look on the workshop, this particular creator put up a bunch of maps, and they're all really good. Oh, nice. You've been using the maps? Cool. Yeah, I found a couple of their maps earlier, and then I also saw that they had, like, yeah, here's the east side, here's the south side, north side, west side. All very cool. Tiny Orc Army. Love your name, by the way. Hey, Jodo, FR, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Damn Fam. How you doing today? I mean, who doesn't like a tiny orc army? Are we saying the size of the army is small, or are we saying the orcs are small in the army? That's an important denotation that I need to know. Context is important. These are under driftwood, these windows here. So if you look in the windows, let's see, if you go to bay windows, driftwood options, pretty cool. So now they're like a small army of large orcs, or of slightly larger than small orcs. A small army of slightly larger than small orcs is the proper context. Love it. English is confusing. Right, Zach? I eventually probably will have to take a break on interviews or cycle people back in. I don't mind re-interviewing the devs and, you know, different people in the team. Heck, I might just do an interview myself one of these days where I just sit there and answer questions from the community about myself. But you're real. You're real there. There's only so many interviews I could do, right? I've really written my own death sentence with this segment. It's going to be canceled someday because eventually I'll run out of people to interview. Only 7,999,999,994 to go. No, that's true. Our community isn't that large. Our Discord is only 35,500. Streamer spotlights would be interesting. For sure. I've got another guest. Like the next few weeks planned out. Mondu, I believe, is our next guest, right? Who is viewer right now, community member. But the following guest after that is More D&D, who is a DM content creator for like Twitch or TikTok and Twitch and YouTube. I met him on TikTok. He had me on his stream last week. For those that attended, thank you. It's called the Midweek Monster Mash. And he hosts that every Wednesday on his channels, and he invites content creators on, and you pick a team of monsters, 6 monsters, and you battle each other. So it's like DM versus DM battle. Anyway, but yeah, that's the thing. Mondu gonna be on next interview. Very excited to have Mondu on. Mondu's been not present in the community lately because his chair broke. And so he's been unable to really sit at his computer, which has been a detriment to him and his campaign, and also his attendance to our streams, obviously. I'm just kidding. Very excited that Mondu will be present on our next interview. So that will be the 9th that Mondu will be on. By the way, speaking of streams, upcoming streams, you have until the 1st of May, end of day, 1st of May, to submit your entries to the Dam Challenge, which the current theme is Frozen Tundra. It's been a while since we've done a snow-themed map, so I'm excited to do that. But I have a few other people in mind that I'm going to be inviting onto the stream for interviews. I just like to mix them up. I like to do a mixture of community, mod, and dev here and there. And then outside the community is a new shakeup. You know what I mean? I'm going to try and get, people from other dev teams on if I can. Maybe someone from the Above VT team or the Owlbear team or whatever. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be wonderful? So, just a reminder, we're running a giveaway right now. We're going to give away one of these lovely handmade plushies, handmade by a seamstress in Belgium. This one was shipped to me from Belgium. Very, very excited that we're going to be giving one of these away today. But that is based off of our mascot, Hendrycke the Imp, who is an NPC in Wim the Hare, the creator of Dungeon Alchemist. He's in his Pathfinder campaign. His name's Hendrycke of the Pit, and he is a nefarious NPC that they run into on occasion in his Pathfinder campaign. So you see a version of Hendrycke every time you load Dungeon Alchemist, but it's more, it's a different version of this, right? Here, let me pull up. So to enter that giveaway, make sure you're following the stream and then type in chat giveaway. Once you've typed giveaway, our bot will add your name to the giveaway. Demdra, that's funny. I saw a guy in the Lowe's parking lot yesterday wearing the 2025 D20 Cruise shirt. I was going to ask him if he enjoyed it, but I was busy loading my car up with lumber and didn't have time to chat. Giveaway. Takeaway. Jeez. But yeah, just like Asgard just did, make sure you go into our Twitch stream, follow the stream, and type giveaway in chat to enter. Unfortunately, the giveaway has to be run through the Twitch stream because it's the only bot that can run it successfully, and other platforms don't allow giveaways for some reason. So, get away, get away. That's for Sack. Just kidding. So I'll ask you, Demdra, how was the 2025 D20 cruise? Since I didn't ask that other person and I have time now. Hey, Cave Beast. Make sure you enter the giveaway, my friend. Type giveaway in chat. We're giving away a Hendrycke plushie. Let me find the logo of Hendrycke, our beloved mascot. Here is the image for the giveaway, so we'll keep that up. But let me find another one here. Hendrycke the Imp. So, Hendrycke, our beloved mascot, you may see him in our art in places, and you're probably more familiar with him in this variation right here, which is the load screen logo for Dungeon Alchemist, right? Dirty Rollers, how you doing, bud? Welcome back. How's things? So this is a plushy, kind of chibi version of Hendrycke that we're giving away. Very excited for this. Not bad. Glad to hear it, my friend. How's your campaigns going? Or campaign? Or is it 2 that you're running now, or 1? Sorry. Been a moment since we discussed it. I get it, Demdra. Yeah, Owlbear is, I mean, pretty popular the last few years. They've gotten a lot more popular. They were like kind of a free app that popped up during the campaign. A lot of people started vibing with them because of that, for that reason. And then they've been slowly evolving. They now have a paid version with a few more options. And their extension store is great, where community members can make modules or add-ons for them. By the way, for anyone interested, if you don't happen to win the giveaway, this Hendrycke right here, there's a model of him on the workshop. Stand by. So if you open the Steam Workshop tab within Dungeon Alchemist and go to Browse Assets and just search Plushie, you can download Hendrycke and use him in your maps. Hey, Pike, yeah, I don't want you to miss out on the giveaway. Hop over to our Twitch feed if you can. We're running it for another 10 minutes, so you have time to sign in or create an account. That way you can hop in chat. Fantastic. Sorry to corral everyone to Twitch. The bot doesn't work on other feeds. So, yes, you do, Belle. By the way, thank you again for being on the stream. It was so great to have you on. Absolute pleasure. So, how many players are in your campaign, Tiny Orc Army? Did y'all see our giveaway video? Here. I think we shared it on social media and stuff. Oh man, how many campaigns you running, Orc Army? Let's hear it. Some dedicated DMs out there. Seriously. By the way, Tiny Orc Army, if I missed it earlier, I can't remember if I shouted you out when you followed. If I did, if I didn't, I apologize. So we'll give you another shout out here, just in case. So thank you for that follow. Kat, how you doing? Welcome back. Glad you made it. You run one for your kids? Nice. Very cool. Are any of them into map making or planning to get into DMing themselves? You had to contend with, oh no, stay safe. How do you contend with the flooding? Did you sandbag or anything like that? That's cool. That's very cool. My son enjoys Dungeon Alchemist. He loves making maps, and I guarantee you he'll be a DM someday. He's already designing his own rule system for a game. So yeah, like I love like nurturing the next generation of like tabletop gamers. For real, stay safe, Kat. Just moving the car to high ground. Fair enough. By the way, we're doing a giveaway for those that have just tuned in. We're giving away a Hendrycke of the Pit plushie. Hendrycke is our beloved mascot on our loading screen, on our Steam page, on our website. But this is a chibi kind of plushie version of him. These are handmade, a custom commission. If you want to enter, make sure you type giveaway in chat. You got 5 minutes left to enter, so just type giveaway in chat and that will enter you. Well, that's no good. Ah. Yeah, see? It is adding people to the list. So, Pike, make sure you type in giveaway, or anyone that just dropped in. Type giveaway in chat to enter. The wheel is fixed. The wheel in the stream keeps on turning. Aw, I would love for you to have a chance to enter, because we'll ship it worldwide. We don't care. Gosh, this map is so great. I sound like Steve Perry. Who's that? Oh, the guy who sings Wheel in the Sky, right? Journey's singer. I didn't know that was his name. You know, I actually saw like a Journey on a revival tour years ago. Also saw Kansas. And America on tour together years ago. But yeah, Journey. I didn't know their names. That's crazy. See, how do you enter the giveaway? You just type giveaway in chat. I'll open up another map from our community really quickly. This one's from Swedish Cook. I actually have an America 45 of Horse with No Name that was signed by them when I was like 15 because they were like doing a revival tour. But yeah, I like all the older bands because I have like all my parents' old vinyl and I collected a lot of vinyl and tapes when I was younger. So let's pull up the walls on the map. And it looks like our friend put in roofing tiles manually to get that gabled kind of roofing style with the correct arches, which is, I wish the devs could pull this off. We need this style of roofing next, especially overhang. We need roofing like this that meets in the center so the eaves properly run the water off and the fascia diverts water into a channel. But this was done by hand using objects, and Swedish Cook is really good at making assets too, so I imagine he probably made these little sections here. How could the horse sign it if it had no name? His name was James Baxter. I just like to think that in a world of magic, that's not an issue, you know? Also, there are plenty of roofs that don't have an overhang. There's like literally a style of roof that doesn't overhang. It exists. I just can't remember the type of roof it is, but it's like flat with no overhang. But that being said, yes, I understand the desire for it, But then I always like to remind people you are playing a fantasy game where anything could be totally different from the real world in our existing physics. Alrighty. No, there's angled roofing too that just goes flat to the edge. It's a certain style of roofing. I just don't know what it's called. I've seen it though. Okay, we're gonna end the giveaway here really quick. I'm gonna turn off the command. So last chance to enter, type giveaway to enter, and you must be following the stream to qualify. So make sure you're following the stream. Make sure you type giveaway in chat. I'm turning off the command in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I am going to pull up the wheel in a moment. As you can see, this here is all the names of everyone that entered. I'm going to copy those. And I'm going to put them into the wheel. Sadly, this is not a completely... Where is it? Oh, streamlined process, but I'm going to show you all on stream, right? So I added everyone in there, okay? And they're all evenly spaced. I know Tropism's name, for some reason, looks really large. I'm not sure why, but everyone else's, they're all the same size. That's what I don't know. I don't know why yours is huge. Demdra right next to you, similar size. Sack map, similar size. Rigged, right? That's weird. Weird. Anyway, I'm not rolling it from this. I just want to show you. Oh, crap. Oh, that saved it. 1 second. May not have saved it. Stand by. Oh, it is saved. Pretty sure. Yep, that's all there. We're good. It's saved. Okay. I don't know why his name is weird like that, but that's an interesting theory. Honestly, though, I feel bad for him if he wins now, and for me, because y'all will probably be like, rigged. It's rigged. That being said, I wish you all the best of luck. Hey, it fixed it over here, it looks like, so we're good. Hold on. Nope, that is not him. I do not see. One second. I think that's the old wheel. I'm going to refresh it. There we go. Yeah, I'm not... Something's wrong here. Stand by. 1 second, okay? It's the old one. That is the old one. Something's wrong. Give me 1 moment. Trying to figure out why it's not fixed. I know. We're gonna fix it, everyone. Please relax. Goodness. If I have to, I'll make it all fresh. Just 1 second. For some reason, it's not updating, and that's irritating to me. I have refreshed this like 5 times. Why is it not? Stand by. I liked the wheel and it was working. Maybe I just need to make a new wheel. 1 second. I'm going to do it. Okay, this will fix it. Stand by. I'm just going to refresh the wheel with a new one. So what I did is I just made a whole new wheel. I'm not messing with it again. There we go. And it looks like it fixed Tropism's name in the process. There we go. The wheel is updated. We're all good. Sorry about that, everyone. I'm just going to make a new wheel every time going forward. Zach the Nebula. Let me look at the list here. Yeah, you're on the list. You should be on there. I see you in blue. You're right there. You're in blue above catatonic. You are. Okay, are we good, everyone? We're gonna spin it for real this time. Relax. I'm gonna do it right now. Are we ready? Good luck, everyone. Oh, dang, that barely rolled over. So Dirty Rollers, you win, bro. Congratulations. Dirty Rollers, are you still with us? Yeah, congratulations all around. Remember, we can't all win, but we can all be winners. So let's give a warm congratulations to Dirty Rollers. Hopefully they're still here. I know the giveaway segment ran long between technical difficulties and running it for about 20 minutes. That said, I know how to reach out to them if not. So we can ship it to them, no problem. They're still lurking in chat. I'm going to ping them on Discord 1 second. I don't know. Oh, there he is. I'm just messaging him. I'm messaging him on Discord. But hopefully he drops back in. But still, running the giveaway, we ran it for like 20 minutes. So it gave a lot of time for people to enter or migrate from other platforms if they needed to. Honestly, I'm so happy that it worked. We got it to spin correctly. Hey, there he is. Congratulations, Dirty Rollers. We'll chat after the stream. I'll get, your updated shipping info and everything. And then I'll pass it on to Wim and he'll ship it out to you. So it'll probably take a couple weeks because it has to go through customs from Belgium, but you'll definitely. Yeah, sorry. So I think for some reason the cache for the old wheel was still showing, even though I'd updated it. So I just made a whole new wheel and put in the new link, and that fixed it. But anyway, congratulations, Dirty Rollers. And remember, y'all, if you didn't win, you can always, download a Hendrycke plush on the workshop. Just search Plushie or Hendrycke, and you can add him to your maps. And this is a pretty much replica there. Dirty Rollers, though, you got to do me a favor. There's one condition to me sending you the plushie. Yeah, the wheel is still showing, isn't it? You got to take a picture of Hendrycke in a funny, pose, doing something silly. Whatever. Playing Pokemon, holding the sword, being the DM of your game. I don't care. Whatever, something. When you get him, and then send it to me. That way we can post a funny picture of him on our social media. Sound fair? Thank you for everyone that hung out and entered the giveaway. Really appreciate you all so very, very much. Oh, that would be dope. That would be cool. Hopefully, be careful though. They're very limited edition. Like this one is 21. I think there was maybe only 25 of them made. But yeah, that would be very cool. Fantastic. Okay, so thank you for everyone that participated in the giveaway and that was here for our interview with Belle from the Fantasy Grounds team. I am so excited to, be doing these giveaways and these interviews with our community. By the way, we'll be trying to do a Hendrycke giveaway almost every month for the foreseeable future. So there will likely be, another one next month. They may not all be on the stream, but there will be a giveaway every month or so. We might do the next one on Discord or social media or something like that. Oh my goodness. You're playing with fire. Yep, let's go into the questions now, Zach. Actually, we're going to roll into the question segment now for the rest of the stream. So if you have any Dungeon Alchemist related questions, let me know. We did a interview segment, and then after it usually rolls into questions, so I threw up the questions tag, but then we did the giveaway, and it took a little bit longer. Zach, a cliff below another cliff. What do you mean? So like an overhang where it's like an overhung cliff with something underneath? You would have to use a combination of the terrain and rocks from the object menu. Because the terrain itself can't do an overhead overhang. It'll only have a slant under, right? So you'll need to use like a rock outcropping at the top to be overhung. Now that said, that'll be even easier to do after the Fun with Objects update comes out, because objects will be able to be rotated on any axis, which means you'll be able to get even cooler overhangs. But unfortunately, I don't think the terrain tool for the foreseeable future will be able to solve that issue. I think because it always has to be like vertical, right? So vertical or slanted outward. It can't go like this. Yeah, one moment. Got any more of them teasers? Geez, Dave Chappelle. Hey, see you later, DM Crusader. I was hoping to take a closer look at this map, but we'll come back to it if we have time. I guess I'll just do like desert. We'll do, actually, let's do not desert. We'll do Badlands. And then we'll set a canyon, which gives me a nice cliff to begin with. I'm just going to turn off the... Oh, that's a small map. I forgot to set the size. My bad. My bad. Yeah, you could do like terraces, right? But if you want an overhang, you'll have to use an object. But if you want like switchbacks or terraces, you could definitely do that with just the terrain tool. Here, I'm actually going to get rid of the water on this now that I think about it. Let's bring up the water sponge. Just get rid of that so we have more cliff to work with. So let's say, for instance, here, anywhere in this you wanted an overhang, right? I'll use this space because it's kind of large. I'm going to go find a matching rock. So I'm going to go to nature. I just noticed my mouse highlighter crashed. I'm going to go to stones or rocks, and we have quite a bit of sandstone rock, right? There's a few here, and then there's some more down below. So there's one that's like an arch, that we could probably use. And that gives us, make sure we disable those collisions. You could sink something in and have like an arch kind of overhang. But if you wanted something like an outcropping at the top, you take this rock, have collisions off, oversize it, raise it up and down, sink it in where you want. And notice from the bottom, that is like a very traditional mesa, like a rock mesa, a sandstone mesa. Like stuff like this exists all over in Zion. Whereas like the big national park right near where I grew up. But you could mix and match these stones in like tiers and do terraces. The other thing you can do, so you can use the terrain tools like we were discussing now. The flatten terrain tool, let's make this small. Working at different heights is hard, right? But you can kind of flatten one area, and it flattens to the biggest, like the largest median area in that vicinity. So here it'll flatten to this, right? Here it'll flatten to this area. So you could have like terraces of flattened out cliffs where it's like, oh, it's like a good 10, 20 foot gap. But yes, there is only a certain amount of verticality allowed in maps with terrain at this time. That's why I try to start with a terrain biome or a terrain elevation like Grand Canyon or ravine or mountains, because it starts with a lot of verticality to begin with. Additionally, let's say you want something that's more like a switchback, right? So you're going to have to feather it a little bit, right? So you would use like your flatten to get it a little bit this way, right? That gets you one edge. And let's say you want to go up a little bit, right? So you're going to want to use the smooth terrain near this edge to kind of merge them. This is kind of a steep drop here, but we'll get it in a moment. So smooth, and then flatten, smooth, flatten. Does that make sense? A little bit here, a little bit there. So you have a path that can go up. And you flatten this area here, and you got another terrace. So there is like, does that make sense? Make sure you rotate your camera down so you can get a good angle, but you're going to have to play with it a little bit. This height transition is a little sharp, but it's possible. And then remember, use rocks intermittently here and there. Also, you have things like ladders, stairs, stonework that are in the structural tab. So if you want to have like some ruins sticking out, go grab some ruins. Like I like once in a while having like one of these broken things so your players to be tempted, so you can give them a check. But yeah, if you look at this here, at the brush strength, you can tune it down and make the brush smaller. Helps tremendously in these instances when you're trying to kind of feather it a little bit. Height also, if you transition height less sharp, switchbacks are usually more gradual, right? Instead of like really sharp, high transitions. But you get the idea of what I'm trying to show you, I hope. But notice the flattened terrain brush, it'll find the flattest area there, and then it'll like the most flat area is, even if it's like a sharp angle, and it'll start setting it to that height. So wherever you place the brush, whatever the largest part of the circle covers, it'll start setting that to the default flatness. No worries, Zach. By the way, make sure to avoid flattened terrain to room height unless you're shaping around a room. And when you use this brush, it's actually kind of intuitive if there is a room nearby because there's multiple heights of rooms, right? So if you have a room here or say a one over here that's at a higher height, if you have the flattened to room height brush activated, if you start from inside that room and then draw out, it will flatten to that room's height. But if you start in the other one and then drag it out, it flattens to that room's height. Does that make sense? Because it's dictated by the room you start drawing from. Speed that up here. So if I left click while I'm in this room and then drag out, it flattens to this room height. That's another great thing. I like terraforming caves that way, Tropism. Have you ever done that? Because people like nice, sharp, carved caves, but don't want walls that are like these, right? So I'll use the solid rock biome. I think it's just because the natural generation will have some jaggies in it, Highland Lass. It's not as often when you're using the shaping tools, but when there's like the natural or like the procedural generation might have some, especially in the cliffs here and there. So like if I'm, it could be aliasing too. But yeah, I'll pick any room type. It doesn't matter to me, and I'll just turn off everything, right? Except for flooring and maybe walls. And then I'll just draw a shape, generate it, right? And then you could use the terrain tool to raise cave area, to seam it up nice and neat there and make it full power. This is the quickest way to do this. This is nice. When you use the cave tool, notice how it's dark on the top instead of lit. If you use the terrain tool and just raise it, it'll be kind of white lit, and that means that line of sight can see to there. If it's dark, it means it creates a wall. So that's why I use the cave tool where possible. It's also much faster, so it just saves a ton of time. But you can bring these walls in nice and seamed. The devs artistically choose to have that angle so it's easier to see into rooms, but sometimes you don't want that, you know? And then you could just take the room tool, go into the edit room tab, click it, and then delete the room. And now it's a nice sharp carved cave. It'll even fill it in with rocks and stuff. You could have hallways and everything just like this. Any shape you can make with the room tool, round, diagonal, curve, you can turn it into a room and then delete it, and it stays as an imprint. At the end of the day, depending on how you configured your cave, it'll automatically fill stuff, but you can just erase these objects really quickly. So when I generated the cave, it had like rocks and stuff on. But this doesn't take long, and torches. I like to mix rooms like this with other like regular rooms. It's pretty fun. Yeah, no worries. So it's like unbuilding, if you will. You build a room to use its shape. You delete the room after, and now you've got this nice like imprint of where it was, right? And it's still a room. It's just carved cave, like maybe a dwarven hall that was carved out of a massive, rock. By the way, everyone, it looks like the stream's about to wrap up. Was there any questions I missed from earlier? Just want to make sure I got all the questions. Oh, Tropism had a question about Sailor Yugoth's map. Let me find the map really quick. He actually messaged me about it, and I felt bad. We discussed it a little bit. Let me subscribe to it. We'll add it to my list. We'll take a look at the top side of it. The thing about submitting maps, when you submit a map for the Damn Challenge, you're only allowed one entry. So if you submit a map that's like multiple versions of a map, make sure you point out which one is your entry to me. So I think there was some confusion because I wasn't sure which map was which or whatever. Honestly, isn't there a spell where it converts stone to mud and mud to stone? Between that, fabricate, I guess disintegrate could work, but like it just seems like there's way better spells to fabricate with or like carve with. You pair fabricate with certain proficiencies, it's so OP. I am definitely a utility caster. Like I just got a couple level 4 spells with my level up. One of them I'm picking is fabricate because I also have a dip into artificer and I have an all-purpose tool, which means I have every arcane or every tool proficiency essentially. So I can make whatever. Pair that with fabricate, I can make fine jewelry, I could make brilliant defendable walls. But yeah. My son has an item that he got in the dungeon we've been crawling. It's like a crown that is like cursed. It's bound to his head now and he can't get it off. And the crown has the disintegrate spell on it, which he doesn't have access to like level 6 or level 7 spells. So he was very happy with that. So, Chim, the all-purpose tool is a really cool item because it's like the sonic screwdriver from Doctor Who. It can be any tool you want it to be. As an action, it literally changes to a different tool. So it could be like stonemason tools, now it's wood carving tools. And when you change the tool, you're instantly proficient with it. So essentially, I'm like our group's crafter and like polymath who like picks all the locks, fixes all the stuff, does all the investigation checks. It's kind of my thing. Yep, exactly. And that's kind of how I am in real life too. Like I love learning about stuff and fixing things and making things. 3D printing, Arduino, building computers, technology, electronics, home media, home audio, obviously carpentry now I'm getting into. If the gun is the best tool for the job, sure, I'll use a gun. I'm smart in that regard, but a lot of people try to use a gun as a hammer or a nail or a wrench, The current Damn Challenge theme is Frozen Tundra, Adventure 199. You have between now and the 1st of May, end of day in your time zone, to submit your entry for that. But yeah, this was paired with the underground station for it, wasn't it? Hey, see you later, Tropism. Oh, wait. No, Tiny Orc Army is taking off. Never mind. Ah, sorry, I misread that. Orc Army, thank you for hanging out. We'll see you later. This map is really cool. Very cool. You got 5-6 days to make you something. Best of luck. By the way, those wondering what the damn challenge is, every 2 weeks we host an ongoing map making contest every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks we pick a theme. We give our community 2 weeks to build a map of any shape or size using that theme as inspiration. There are rules to this contest. They're pinned in our Discord in the Damn Challenge channel. There's a pinned message at the very top showing you the rules, okay? Those rules must be adhered to when you submit your entry to qualify. It's like 4 rules, and you just got to submit before the deadline. Otherwise, though, as long as you follow those rules, your qualified entry is then judged by myself, usually solo judge, but once in a while I have a guest judge. The winning map is decided from a combination of factors. I'm looking for something interesting, kind of have a wow factor that kind of stands out, but also is unique and fun. Maybe something cool, new that no one's ever thought of, or a different style or approach to something. I also love when a map kind of shines on its own. A lot of times people end up building very similar maps, let's say, and once in a while a map on its own with its own distinct style really grabs my attention. That said, though, that's not always the case. So it's really not so much any particular factors, but more like a vibe that I'm looking for something kind of just that impresses me. When I audibly gasp, I usually know. You know what I mean? You know, one thing too that Tropism, Sailor Yugoth, he is very good at creatively misusing assets to his advantage to make cool stuff. Like if you look here, like this is a staircase, right? And a headstone. He just made his own custom, like, you know, roof ornaments here. He does this in a lot of his maps. He was one of the first people in our community to build true multi-level maps before we even had multi-level. Like he was using custom like object manipulation, or what we call CRAM, creative asset misuse, like these here, yes, to make cool little balconies and different multi-level stuff. Tropism's maps are peak for sure. I've missed him around the community, or missed them around the community, because they are always pushing the envelope of what Dungeon Alchemist can do. Yes, Morgana, yes, of course. Or Sailor Yugoth. Did I not say Sailor Yugoth? I thought I did. I thought I just mixed your name in there because I was talking to you. So Tropism, I definitely have missed Sailor Yugoth's maps because of the way they do stuff. But oh, my bad. I was talking about to you about him, and I got mixed up there. My bad. Either way, I like your maps as well. You have a very unique style too, and you do use objects very creatively. Team Cram, I'm all for it. But yeah, Morgana, let me show you how, actually. So if you click the object menu, sorry, that's not much info to begin with there, just saying yes. If you click the object menu and go to this panel here, it says abstract, right? These like green objects here, these are customizable and there's templates for each of them. But like the flat ones that lay on the ground, these, or the wall, these are perfect for inserting PNGs into. Let me show you a few examples, okay? The disable collisions, move this one up so it's on this pillar. We'll make some graffiti, and then we'll do a magic circle, and we'll do some blood. Sound good? 3 different things. So when you place these objects, they have all these customizable things. You can just change the color if you want. But, and then on this one here, if you click it, you can go to our website, and it shows you all the templates for these objects, right? Each one of these objects has a template. So the cube, this is its template. The wall template, the flat plane on the ground, the square, the circle. You download these, they're essentially a JPEG. You can put them in like Photoshop or GIMP or any photo editor, image editor. And they are 1024 pixels by 1024 pixels on each side. But this shows you the stencil space, the safe space for where your graphic can be placed and still be visible on this image or on this template. So essentially, let's start with this square one here. I'm going to just place the Dungeon Alchemist logo in there. So just put a PNG in there, pretty easy, right? Let's say I wanted something a little bit more intricate, right? Maybe a painting or a map. If this map had no edges as a PNG, it'd be ideal, right? Now, these circle ones, these are great for things like maybe a magic circle, right? Whoa, where'd it go? So if you can source a PNG image or make your own graphics, great. These are perfect for that. Also here, let me show you on the wall here. I like this one because you can do fun stuff with it, like graffiti, right? Or maybe just an image on the wall or on the ground, blood splatter, whatever you want. So you can use PNG or you can use JPEG in these. And these can be creatively used too. People will put like a full transparent PNG to leave them blank and use them as an invisible plane to put objects on and move them around as groups. These can be used in lots of different ways. And an evolution of this is hopefully coming in our next update. It's called the decal tool, and it'll allow you to place like footsteps, leaves, cracks, spider webs on the walls, floors, objects, etc., and even import custom decals to stamp them out in mass. Yeah, the paintbrush black is kind of a flat, it's like more of a gray, I've noticed. So what I do is when I'm using these, I'll insert a darker black image, like a solid black. These are great. You can put these in the bottom of pits or in like off the shores of islands. You sink that down below the island. Or in oceans or watering holes, lakes. It makes it look like deep water, right? Let me show you on a map with anything like that. Let's go to forest. But the abstract objects, like if you use them to your advantage, you can do all sorts of things, right? But yeah, we're going to wrap up the stream after I show this last little tip. Appreciate you all for tuning in. We did not get into our segments for showcasing maps or features today because our interview ran long, but no biggie. Let's say I wanted the center of this lake to feel deep, right? Right now you can see the bottom of it. Gonna go grab an abstract, and then I'm gonna insert a dark black image into it. I'm gonna disable collisions, and I'm gonna raise it up just a little bit to get started. We'll move it around a little bit when we're done. Essentially, you could set a cutoff point where the lake starts to get really deep and dark, right? By just lowering this plane down a little bit. This works for pits, this works for lakes, this works for oceans, islands, you know, any number of things. It's a great tip for quickly making the environment feel much deeper than it is. The illusion of depth, if you will. Yeah, you could stretch this image far past the edges of the map, right? And it'll work across the whole plane of ocean or water or whatever it is. But this is a great example. I like to do the same thing with islands because you have like a beach and then a little bit of land and then nothing, right? It gets deeper and deeper and you can't see anything. Alrighty. Thank you everyone for tuning in today for the Dungeon Alchemist map making show. Appreciate each and every one of you. Yeah, Atlam is a super mod. Thank you, Atlam, for helping with questions today and for, you know, directing those to me and for answering questions for all the various, you know, community members. By the way, I'm probably going to be adding another mod to our stream and possibly our Discord soon. Mainly because we've just been so busy on the streams. And also a lot of growth in our Discord and a lot of bot accounts. And I feel like just, you know, we have a lot of community members who care about our community and maybe want to help a little bit more and make sure that it stays safe and, you know, fun and for for people of all ages and, you know, that kind of stuff. But that being said, I may be reaching out to a couple people soon who I think might be qualified for that. Because I love our moderator team, but we always need more help, you know, because they're all volunteers. Anyway, Atlam, thank you for all you do. I know we have Asmodeus lurking. He was here on guard, ready with that banhammer just in case. But thank you so much, everyone, for being here, whether you were actively chatting, whether you were lurking, whether it was your first stream or your 100th stream. See, Asmodeus, ever watchful. Ever present. Thank you everyone for being here. Your continued support with these streams and our community initiatives means the world to me, means the world to our dev team. Thank you for everyone that participated in the giveaway. Congratulations again to Dirty Rollers RPG for winning the Hendrycke plush. This guy here. By the way, reminder, we'll be giving these away probably like once every month for the foreseeable future. Till we run out. So we want to give back to our community, those that support us the most. So make sure you try and tune into those streams or giveaway events wherever we host them. I think the next one will likely be on Discord. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm going to run a quick Dungeon Alchemist themed ad, and then we're going to end the stream. Before I leave though, Morgana, did that answer your question about being able to insert custom images and the kind of cool stuff you could do with them? I want to make sure I address that to your satisfaction. Cool. One other thing about this, because you can insert any image into your game or into your map, like you could take images from other map making programs and put them in. Like there is that Forgotten Adventures website that has like thousands, hundreds of thousands of JPEGs and PNGs or like use in map making and encounter building for Dungeon Draft, but those also work in Dungeon Alchemist. So people will kit bash those images into their builds when there isn't an asset available in DA or on the workshop as like a nice supplemental option. So between the workshop and stock assets, there's, you know, almost over 20,000 assets now. But if there isn't something there that you need, you can always use an image online or from image repositories like Forgotten Adventures. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in today. We're going to run that Dungeon Alchemist themed ad, and then we're going to wrap up the stream. Let's end it on this map here. It looks really pretty. Hey, thank you for letting me host. I love hosting these streams. As you can tell, I don't get out much, so I socialize with y'all every Monday and Saturday. Oh, speaking of like socialization, I've been sharing those images of the garden beds I've been building, the raised garden beds in our Discord. If anyone's curious about that, wants to follow along, I've been sharing them in the off-topic channel in our Discord. I've been getting into carpentry this last year because my grandfather gave me a bunch of his tools. I was raised in a cabinet shop, but I was far too young to learn then. But now learning a lot, watching a lot of videos, linking up with my grandfather on the phone, sending him images. He's helping me out. But I've been building a lot of stuff. I built a couple workbenches last year, did little projects around the house, built my wife a custom workbench last month, been building raised garden beds this last week. I'm very excited to continue work on those. I have a few more things I want to do with them. So I hope y'all stay tuned and kind of follow along as we, continue work on them and plant in them. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. We're going to run that Dungeon Alchemist themed ad and we're going to end the stream here. Let's do Woblin today, shall we?
You stand before the long, dark road to the fabled realm of Goyak-Ta, and before...
What do we see?
I don't know, a goblin.
I kill him!
But before she does, I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to know the goblin's name.
Hi, my name is Woblin.
Where do you live there, Woblin?
I don't think that's relevant.
Well, but I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to seek the goblin's abode.
Clever, find family, kill entire bloodline.
Seriously, we're doing this? Okay, well, won't be needing that anymore, will I?
Ever get caught by your players with your pants down? Dungeon Alchemist lets you create wonderful maps for any encounter in seconds.
Oh, Woblin, that's a very impressive cheese collection you've got there.
Yeah, it is quite impressive, yes. But you know what's more impressive? This map I have
To the fabled realm of Goyak-Ta, please take it and leave. Close the door behind you.
Mr. Woblin, I cannot help but notice that you have a secret tunnel underneath your cabinet. Care to explain?
Download Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered map maker, on Steam today.
Thanks again for tuning in, everyone. Hey, Belle, thank you so much for being here. It's an absolute pleasure having you. You're welcome back anytime. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. Again, my name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is a map-making tool available on Steam. We offer a demo, so you can download Dungeon Alchemist, give it a little test drive before you buy. By that, I mean you can build yourself a tavern in our forest biome, even export it for your virtual tabletop of choice or for print. I hope if you enjoyed the stream today, if you haven't tried Dungeon Alchemist, you check out the demo. Quick reminder as well, before I take off, to our longtime viewers and fans, or those who've been using Dungeon Alchemist for the last few weeks or months and have been enjoying it. If you have not already given us a review on Steam, please do so. We love hearing your feedback on Steam because those reviews really help our community members who are looking into Dungeon Alchemist make a decision. Whether it's good or bad, we like to hear your feedback so we can grow and learn from it. Additionally, other feedback can be shared through the feedback menu in the Dungeon Alchemist top menu. Thank you again, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Mac out. Bye.